WHAS 11. Live at 6 from the leader in television news, Gary Rodemeyer and Melissa Swan. This is Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11.
Tonight, still stranded, this time in sub-zero temperatures. The big rigs are still stuck.
We heard the thing on the radio told us to get off, stay off.
Many shelters are full. The storm of 94 keeps going and going and going. And this is a live picture from Sky 11 of downtown Louisville, still snow-covered and now settling in for one of the coldest nights in many, many years. Good evening, everyone. I'm Gary Rodemeyer.
And I'm Melissa Swan. The aftermath of that winter storm continues tonight. Those below zero temperatures mean that the 16 inches of snow on the ground will stay on the ground for quite a while.
So, Julie Koenig joins us now live from Sky 11. And Julie, not much going on downtown today in the way of traffic. How does the city look at this hour?
Very quiet right now, and that's a good thing, Gary. Now we're going to be heading north along I-65, back across the river. Very quickly, what we've seen, I-65 looking pretty good, both into Kentucky, into Indiana. In fact, it looks better on the Indiana side of the river. I-264 looking pretty good. I-64, I-71, icy, snow-covered, a little traffic on that. I-265, very icy. I would avoid that road at all costs tonight. This is the last night you want to get stuck. Nowhere is that more apparent than in southern Jefferson County on I-65, where some truckers are finding they are battling an unforgiving Mother Nature.
Truck after truck after truck, a caravan of 18-wheelers going nowhere. From Sky 11, you can see the long, lifeless stretch along I-65 South near the Brooks Hill Road exit. A fortunate few make it off the interstate, only to end up stuck on a ramp or in this crowded truck stop parking lot. From the truck graveyard to the south, Sky 11 takes us north to the treacherous ramps leading into Spaghetti Junction. Vehicles still littering I-64 and I-71 heading into town. Here's another stranded semi, long abandoned by its driver. One of the only transportation arteries not clogged with cars or trucks, the Ohio River. But barges braving these chilly waves may soon have to cut through patches of ice forming near the shoreline. Back above I-65 South, the chain of 18-wheelers remains, stuck in 16 inches of snow, stuck in sub-zero temperatures, stuck by Mother Nature for a second day in a row.
Back up here live in Sky 11, showing you exclusive live pictures from above Kentuckiana. We're looking at the Kennedy Bridge. You can see a little traffic there tonight. Be careful on the bridges with the temperatures dropping. Those roadways are freezing up again. Once again, Sky 11 will be up bright and early tomorrow morning. In case you have to be into work, we'll let you know what your trip into town will be like. Gary and Melissa.
And Julie, you're noticing some patches of ice forming on the river from up there, aren't you?
Yes, especially along the banks. There are some barges that seem to be hemmed in by ice. Not real thick at this point, but, you know, if it gets to minus 12 tonight, who knows what the river's going to look like in the morning. Yeah. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Julie.
Well, this is the worst and the most dangerous night so far for those truck drivers. Sitting in their rigs, the temperature expected to drop to 14 below tonight. The transport trucks were in long, helpless lines along the interstate in Bullitt County. The governor closed the interstates in rural Kentucky to all but emergency vehicles and fuel trucks. A state trooper in Shepherdsville told all drivers that they would have to exit. So the truckers say they are just sitting and waiting.
Well, it gets monotonous sitting here doing nothing. I've done all my paperwork and got it all up to date and everything, and it really gets monotonous, you know, just sitting here with nothing to do. I'm listening to the radio, I got a CD on, and that's about all I've got here to do, you know.
Well, the truckers are hoping the interstates will reopen tomorrow, but ice and snow have formed craters all along the roadways, and driving is still hazardous at best. Well, if those truckers don't get out tonight, it will be another cold night for them.
We could see and expect to see record-breaking temperatures this evening. As Jeff Lifson found today, the cold weather has already caused many people to do more than just complain.
Matt Coleman's got a problem. Yeah, his car's stuck. But it's cold, and that makes it a head back to the couch kind of problem.
I was in Antarctica in the Navy before, and this feels colder.
2 degrees and sunny. What a forecast. And now it's our present. Couldn't have come at a worse time. Like Steve Exley, we all had some cleaning up to do.
Just hit you like a wall. So, first time out today, so I'll probably go back in.
Go down to the banks of the river and you'll see or sort of see through the steam, the chilliest problem. So what's the difference between the bank and the river these days? Not much. The Ohio River is in danger of freezing. You think you've seen trouble now? You haven't seen anything yet. If the river freezes, expect to see more of it on your street because freezing water from the Ohio breaks the mains, adding to the 15 already broken.
We were anticipating the cold weather, but when we put that very cold weather and snow together, it gives us real problems.
Some advice? Run a little cold water to stop your pipes from freezing. And to stop the Ohio from freezing, let's hope the river gods can't read the sign. Jeff Lipson for Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
And something else you can do for yourself to help yourself around these cold temperatures and all the snow. If you live near a fire hydrant and you notice that that fire hydrant is surrounded by snow, even covered by snow, Louisville firefighters tell us you'll do yourself a favor if you will go out and you will brush the snow from away from that fire hydrant. I saw a firefighter doing this today, and it was the first time I had ever seen that. What they're doing is protecting that so that's not frozen in case of a fire in your neighborhood. So you might go out and while you're sweeping away the snow, take care of the fire hydrants too. It will be a dangerously cold night tonight, and our Chuck Taylor joins us now for the forecast. Chuck?
Well, earlier today we set a record with 10 below zero. We're headed for a record-tying 14 below zero later on tonight, and to add to that, we still have a pretty brisk wind giving us wind chills in the order of 35 to 40 below zero, and a wind chill advisory is in effect for the local area. These are current temperatures: 9 below at Bedford, 6 below at Fort Knox, 6 below at Lexington, and 7 below at Cincinnati, and of course wind chills again in the order of 30 to 40 below zero. Well, after a cold night tonight, it will start to warm up a little tomorrow and a lot by the weekend. I'll have that forecast of warmer weather in just a few minutes.
And of course, one of the biggest stories you can see from Sky 11 are the stranded, even abandoned cars and trucks.
Many of those cars are still sitting in the driving lanes of the interstate highways, and they are blocking what traffic could move by. Today, Governor Jones says the state will begin towing those cars. Even if your car is parked alongside the road in the emergency lane, you must try to move it as soon as possible.
Those that are not removed by that time, we will begin to tow at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. This, of course, is necessary so that we can get emergency vehicles through, and we can make certain that we do not allow any hindrance for those that must travel.
And a man who has been in the midst of all those stranded cars, our Bill Minish, is live near Spaghetti Junction tonight. Bill, have you seen the state actually towing anyone at this point?
No, we've seen a lot of tow trucks all throughout the afternoon. Everybody busy. All these folks want to get their cars back. The truckers want to get back on the road. They have their loads to deliver. But so many cars are stuck both in the middle and off to the side. It's funny, this is developing just since we've been here. A pile of cars here. Folks that came and tried to move their cars out of the way. Well, there's a semi at the very front of this pack who they had to dig out, and now we're trying to get that semi back on the road, just like so many others today. And then the word came out from the governor, as we just heard, that 8 o'clock tomorrow is the target time to get these cars moving. Well, I can tell you from talking to folks today, they are ready to get theirs moved out.
We're just trying to get out.
Are the truckers doing everything they can to get out as quick as they can?
Yeah.
But the governor says it's not quick enough. Any vehicles left at 8 a.m. tomorrow will be moved.
Well, I think they've kind of restricted on what they can do. I talked to one of the guys earlier. He said he had a 2-day wait on a wrecker.
Many don't want to wait. They're pitching in to pull them out.
I've seen all of them pull off Sunday when I went to work, and so I seen him. He was trying to get out, so I come by and helped him get out.
Spinning wheels, spraying snow, and the smell of burning rubber. The semis are the ones busy getting back on the road.
As soon as I'm not making no money sitting here.
That's
you understand?
Many of the cars sit idle, a metal island in a sea of snow. But come 8 o'clock tomorrow, the governor says it's time to move, ready or not. Okay, back here live on I-71, like we were telling you, going back into the city. Moving the car has been the big topic today, and this is still a developing story. Let me get some quick information across to those of you who might still have a car on the highway. It's the interstate only that they're concerned with. What you need to do if your car's sitting out here is call the police, tell them where you are staying and a number of how they can get in touch with you, and that way they know they can call you and tell you where your car has been taken. Now, if you aren't able to call and you go to where your car was and it's not there, go to the next exit and check. That's where they have towed your car and set it down. They're going to establish a hotline, and of course we'll bring that hotline number to you tomorrow.
All right. Bill Minish along the interstates. Thank you, Bill.
And the interstates have been an amazing story, an amazing sight today with all the cars and the people stranded.
Our Chris Turner found today that the secondary roads are also somewhat of a problem, and he has that story from along the roadways.
The main roads are fine, but the back roads are real bad.
That's the bottom line for driving county roads across Kentuckiana. They're the roads off the main traveled routes, the roads with an occasional abandoned car on the shoulder and plenty of snow packed on them.
You got approximately 1 or 2 inches of ice built up and what snow that's left on it. Other than that, you know, it's passable, but that's it. I wouldn't recommend anybody driving on the back roads.
Think of Don Wilburn's windshield as a county road.
You can see how much ice. I'm having one heck of a time getting this off.
Look at Miners Lane here, one of the better of the county roads for sure. It's been plowed, but it's still packed, and this is what the drivers say it will sometimes become a sheet of ice as well. And look at the width of the road as well. Normally a 2-lane road, barely 2 lanes are passable though. Most of the time it's just one car to get past, and another one would have to wait. And many of the side roads require a good truck since they have not been plowed.
It's four-wheel drive or don't even get out.
And advice from yet another driver bears repeating.
And if you don't have to get out, it's not an emergency, I wouldn't be getting out.
Sure, that's for sure. And one other thing to remember too, that on a lot of these roads where there's still a lot of snow, you have ruts that are in the middle too, and then snow that's between those ruts are tire tracks. Normal passenger cars, most of them cannot clear that extra snow, so you need that higher clearance that you have with four-wheel drive vehicles if you've got to get out at all. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. Well, if you can watch our news tonight from your house, you're pretty lucky. Thousands of people are still without electric power.
8,000 LG&E customers do not have power tonight, and crews are worried there could be more problems this evening. The power outages have really worked to bring people together. People like the Eckerlys. That's Pat and Bud Eckerly and Doris and John Eckerly. Doris and John practically moved in with neighbors Pat and Bud when their power went out. LG&E crews say they are hard at work, working 30-hour shifts at some times, but worker Terry Cameron says it helps that people have been kind.
Everybody's been nice as peach pie. I mean, if we stopped and took everything and everybody offered for us, we never would get any work done because everybody's so nice to us and everything.
If your power goes out or if you see a downed power line, call LG&E at 589-3500. And if you get your power from PSI and you have a problem, call 1-800-343-3525. Because of the power outages, the snow and the cold, the city and the county here in Jefferson County continues under a state of emergency.
And our Lisa Chiava joins us live from the command post at City Hall. Lisa?
Melissa and Gary, we've been calling this place the War Room all day, and that's a really good name for it because the people in city and county government are really organizing a fierce battle against this winter storm. Here are some fresh recruits. 2 men volunteering to drive people to the hospital in their 4-wheel drive vehicle.
It looks like she might be in a wheelchair. Do you think you'll be able to? She said she was standing at the window watching you, though.
All these workers are buried under an avalanche of requests and phone calls asking for more 4-wheel drive volunteers. But how much longer will this have to go on? After a meeting today with city and county officials, one estimate they gave, by Thursday or Friday, traffic should start moving again. But extreme cold weather is making the cleanup tough.
We're trying to get additional Humvees, which are 4-wheel vehicles, for additional service in the county. There are a lot of parts of the county that many people know in subdivisions where they're frozen in. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to get to the subdivision roads until late this evening, and we're doing those by private contractor.
The mayor estimates that by Wednesday, plows can start on secondary streets. Until then, only priority routes will see snow removal. And also an update on the National Guard. They're now delivering food to shelters. Shelters are running out of food. We've heard that they're delivering 100 cans of chili, 100 cans of soup. When you've got all that food, you need about 50 boxes of crackers, so they're taking those as well. Gary, Melissa?
All right, thanks, Lisa. Well, there hasn't been a problem with school closings. The schools in Jefferson County have been closed down the last couple of days, but now they were supposed to open tomorrow, and in fact, they will be closed again.
In fact, no one has called us to say their school is open. If there are any schools open, we'll tell you tonight at 11, but consider most of them in our area closed. Our storm team coverage continues when we come back.
The news on Kentuckiana's news channel, WHAS 11, is sponsored by Liberty National Bank. There are banks, and there is liberty.
The river flows eternal, a source of life for the people who drank from its waters, traveled on its currents, made their homes along its shores for centuries. There's only one river that touches lives in so many ways, the Ohio. And only one bank like Liberty. For over 139 years on the Ohio, there are banks, and there is liberty.
It takes real management skills to bring the no-till corn picture into focus. And it takes the right weed control. Picture this: encapsulated bullet. Bullet's the only encapsulated premix specifically designed for season-long control in no-till corn. Bullet gets through residue, stopping weeds and grasses all season long. Bullet, high-caliber control for no-till corn.
The 6 o'clock news on Kentuckiana's news channel is being simulcast on WKMO Elizabethtown and WSEZ Paoli.
Been a while since you've had your car serviced. You know it'll cost a fortune. And about those tires, time for a change, perhaps? Then come to AutoSource. It's the only place where you can get brand-name tires, quality service, and thousands of parts at low prices. So, whether you do it yourself or we do it for you, drop into AutoSource. AutoSource, everything for your car. For less.
State police tell us tonight that the Indiana roads are looking much better than the Kentucky roads at this time.
Indiana State Police say Interstate 65 North is mostly dry. You shouldn't have many problems on the main roads either. We checked earlier with Floyd and Clark counties in Indiana, and they're saying it's slick and hazardous conditions on those roads, but really things are moving rather smoothly over in there. They did have some postal service, even some newspaper service earlier today, and it seems to be a bit better on that side. Down south in Bullitt County, people wish the roads were clear there, and the power was on. More than 450 people spent the night at Bullitt Central High School.
And as our Jim Turner reports, many of those people will probably stay there again tonight.
Oh, what a beautiful morning it was for Daryl Paul.
How you doing, State Police?
Everyone who tried to drive south on I-65 through Shepherdsville failed. Daryl Paul had to stop them. The interstate's closed.
Any idea when it might open? I don't have any idea.
Paul offered directions to the shelter in town at Bullitt Central High. A lot of the stranded travelers didn't mind leaving the interstate.
Oh, it was terrible. It was icy. 18-wheelers sliding all over the road. It was scary.
Hundreds of road warriors slept here last night. It is not plush, but it is warm.
Actually, it's been quite nice. The Red Cross has done everything for us. They've been super nice, and they help us. You know, they're cleaning everything and giving us food and everything. But it's
not home, is it?
No, it's not home. We need to take a shower.
What do you do when you're stranded? If you have twins, you try to entertain them.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yes, you did.
Even the baby's mother is smiling as she wonders one thing. It's the question of the day at Bullitt Central, the question on every mind.
How long do you think we'll be here?
A question I wish I could answer for her. Jim Turner, Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
That effort in Bullitt County is definitely a community effort.
A grocery store and some of the restaurants in town have donated hundreds of meals, and the high school will remain open as a shelter as long as it's necessary.
More news in a moment. Stay with us.
I can't control the weather.
The forecast calls for more sunshine and a high in the 80s. Later on in the week, expect partial cloudy.
I can't control the markets.
Putting pressure on the opening bell. December 4 down a penny. November beans down.
But I do have the power to choose the right seed. Pioneer brand 3293. Count on it.
You know, there are a lot of reasons why your car might leak. Is your transmission shot? Maybe, maybe not. Now's the time to take your car to AMCO. They'll give your transmission the most complete diagnostic checkup in the industry. So if it's just a small problem, they'll spot it. Fact is, half the cars serviced by AMCO dealers don't need a new transmission. So chances are that little leak won't end up draining your wallet. AMCO, AA-MCO.
The WHAS 11 Storm Team. Meteorologists Chuck Taylor, Ken Schultz, and Ashley Chisholm. The WHAS 11 Storm Team.
A big dome of Arctic high pressure is giving a good portion of the country bitter cold weather. We set a record earlier today with 10 below zero. Indianapolis got down to 17 below zero. In Chicago early this morning, they saw a record with 21 below, and up around Duluth, their record low this morning was 33 below zero. Well, we're going to set and tie more records overnight tonight. I'm looking for a record tying 14 below here in Louisville, and north of us, up through the western Great Lakes, temperatures again will be as much as 20 to 30 below zero. Well, some of our storm team trackers are already reporting some very cold weather. Over in Henry County at Sulphur, Bryant Morris reports 12 below zero right now. In Underwood in Clark County, it is 4 below zero. And in Elizabeth, Indiana, it is 9 below zero. Here in Louisville, our reading is 7 below. The humidity is 61%. And with that northwest wind coming in at 13 miles an hour, our wind chill right now is a brutal 37 below zero. The barometer 30.50 and rising. Our high today occurred right at midnight. That was 3 above, and our low this morning, that record-breaking 10 below zero. We've seen just a trace of snowfall here in the past 24 hours. Well, that bitter cold Arctic high-pressure system is centered over Missouri. That will be moving eastward and right over us tonight. Now we're going to be watching a little disturbance developing out in the Rockies. Really doesn't have much moisture to work with, but during the day tomorrow, that system will move eastward and spread a little bit of light snow in here tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. After that system moves through, we definitely will see a big warm-up. So our forecast for tonight, partly cloudy, and we're going to tie the record with 14 below zero. Tomorrow afternoon, look for a little bit of light snow developing. Tomorrow's high will be around 8 above. We'll see light snow tomorrow night with the overnight low around 2 above zero. It looks like many areas will see a dusting to as much as maybe a ½ inch of snow. The snow will be ending on Thursday with a high of 18. Then things will really start to improve on Friday, a high of 30 degrees, 38 for Saturday, into the 40s on Sunday, and it now appears that by Monday we could see the temperature topping out around 50 degrees.
All right, thank you, Chuck. 50 degrees sounds wonderful, like we've gone to the tropics or something. And up next, the tough time emergency crews have helping us during this snowstorm.
Health Break, a community service of Jewish...
Can attack cancer cells in many different organs simultaneously. It can be administered orally, intravenously, or through injections under the skin. Chemotherapy is especially successful when used during early stages of the disease. For more information, call Jewish Hospital at 502-587-4912.
Health Break, a community service of Jewish Hospital.
Well, if you have a tough time getting around in the snow, imagine what it is like for emergency crews.
They can't afford to let anything stop them. That's why Jefferson County EMS paramedics tried a new technique today. Chuck Olmstead explains.
16-55. WPBI 42, clearing the air for Linda.
We have a patient here that needs to get his medication for today through intravenous. The nurse couldn't make it due to the roads where she lives.
But for the first time, these EMS units are using four-wheel drive vehicles to get where their ambulances can't.
Probably we got about 30 minutes left on some medication over here.
Come to help me in the morning.
6-55. WPBR.
From here, it's on to another slow-laden street to check on an elderly family whose out-of-state relatives haven't been able to reach them by phone.
Hello, man. We're from the fire department.
Had you been in a van, what would happen?
We'd probably be stuck. We probably wouldn't get to the call to be able to assess what the condition of the patients are in.
Be advised, we have someone out to those folks on Dogoon. Thanks for advising. Linden Station 1 is on command.
This unit actually lives with members of the Linden Fire Department whose firefighters have donated their 4x4s. Just since yesterday, it's already paid off, reaching 3 heart attack victims in terrain regular EMS vehicles couldn't go. Chuck Olmsted, the Kentuckiana's News Channel, WHAS 11.
So, and here's an incredible emergency. Imagine having a baby during this kind of weather.
A member of our staff knows what that is like. Next, the newest member of our WHAS team arrives in a blanket of white.
Famous seafood experts recommend Captain D's.
Yo, Bernie.
Yeah, Bob.
Could this be right? Only $1.99 for the Captain's Catch-Fish Sandwich at Captain D's?
The Captain's Fish and Fries is under $2 too, yeah.
A breaded fish fillet with lettuce and cheese on a multi-grain bun, only $1.99.
Or 2 batter dipped fish fillets, golden fries, and hush puppies.
Amazing.
2 delicious deals, each only $1.99.
Say, Bernie.
Yeah, Bob.
What's a hush puppy?
Beats me. I just read the cue cards.
I just beat you so bad that game that, I'm sorry, I didn't.
In Louisville, there's a hospital where the quality of caring and healing is unsurpassed daily. Suburban Medical Center with a special kind of care. And an advanced orthopedic center that means freedom of movement, freedom from pain for patients of all ages.
Here you go.
There's an astronomy quiz tomorrow, don't you guys forget. You guys to be ready.
Don't worry about it, Billy. It's astronomy, man.
There are things your child can learn in school that have nothing to do with a good education.
Are you ready?
Ashland Oil and its family of companies urge you to get involved. When parents help, just imagine how much more a child can learn.
That's right. Isn't that great?
They come every year before the big game.
The Clump Brothers. Clump Brothers.
Teamwork bucket. 15 pieces of original recipe or extra tasty crispy? Original recipe! Marshal ya!
In the midst of marshaling forces for live, at times continuous coverage, our news director, Mike Roush, and his wife, Sarah, have been having their first child. Haley Elizabeth is a testament to the fact that nature can be wild and wonderful. Here, Dad takes the first videos of baby Haley. Mike and Sarah spent the night at a hotel near the television station so they could be here for the emergency. Then, at 4 a.m., our station manager was recruited to get them to Audubon Hospital in a four-wheel drive.
The closest hospital. We wanted to come out to the hospital that we were supposed to come to. So we got in four-wheel drive, and we drove over here, and the roads were okay, and we made it, and got here not in the nick of time, but the process started shortly after we got here.
Dad's a bit tired this evening. All is fine despite the severe weather conditions. Mike, Sarah, and Haley have the rest of the night off.
Congratulations to Mike and Sarah.
Such a cutie, and how about that head of hair?
Yeah, yeah.
That's incredible.
Has more hair than Mike.
Yeah. She might. And tonight on Haley's first night, a record.
Tie a record to 14 below zero. Tomorrow, another very cold day, but we will come out of our deep freeze by the end of the week.
That's great. And we'll be with you again at 11 o'clock for any updates. See you then.